Hello, welcome to Best of the Best, Playing with Power series where we rate the top cards, decks, sets, and much more from a CEDH perspective. Today we are going to look at the top 10 CEDH cards from the new set, Commander Legends. This has been a highly anticipated set and we cannot wait to get our hands on it. The partner mechanic returns and opens up all kinds of possibilities for the CEDH format, as well as Commander as a whole. There are a lot of good cards for CEDH, and we are going to go over our list for what we feel will see you play in CEDH. If you are looking to buy any of the cards mentioned today, be sure to check out our list in the description. Also, if you like this video and want to help out, give us a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already subscribed. Finally, if you want to see more like this and want to be part of an amazing community, consider signing up to our Patreon. We have all kinds of offerings at multiple levels, and you'll get awesome benefits for your direct support. A link is in the description below, and we hope to talk to you on our Patreon-only Discord. Thanks! Now, let's dive into our list. Coming in at number 10 on our list is Kodama of the East Tree. This card is 4 and 2 green for a 6/6 legendary spirit with reach and partner that reads, whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't put onto the battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser converted mana cost from your hand onto the battlefield. The possibilities of this card are truly staggering. We don't even have enough time to go into all the combos possible with this card, but its raw potential is absolutely amazing. Just the ramp potential alone is enough to see this card's value. Every permanent you play, even lands, will get you more lands. So at a minimum, every spell or land you cast and play will ramp you a land. It's only limited by the amount of cards in your hand. Even though this card has partner, we probably won't be seeing much of it in the command zone for CEDH. We will see it more in the 99, however. We feel it will really shine in decks like Tatiova and Yarok that will be able to cash in on the extra benefit from lands entering. Number 9 on our list is Jeska's Will. This card is 2 and a red for a sorcery that reads, choose one. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both. Add red for each card in target opponent's hand, and exile the top 3 cards of your library, you may play them this turn. This card has a lot of great potential. The ability to ramp up to 7 or get 3 cards to use is a very good ability for only 3. The ability to do both is also very good when the situation arises. We will see this card showing up in decks that like to storm off or ramp into something. We can see this scene play in decks like Godo Bandit Warlord, Golos Turbonaws, or even some storm decks that like red mana. Number 8 on our list is Roguerack, Son of Roga. This card is 0 mana. Yes, 0. For a 0/1 legendary Kobold Warrior. It has First Strike, Menace, Trample, and Partner. So what makes this card good? Basically, it allows you to add a red color identity to any partner commander with very little opportunity cost. Having something cost 0 is always great because it doesn't take any resources to utilize it. Firstly, it will turn your turn 1 Mox Amber into a Mox Ruby instantly. Secondly, it will make things that care about commanders turn on instantly. This is especially good with cards like Fierce Guardianship or Deflecting Swat. Adding the color identity of red gives otherwise small color pies the ability to do things like add Dockside Extortionist or even Divergent Transformation lines. We will find some really cool brews showing up in the near future with this card. Number 7 on our list is Obeca Brute Chronologist. This card is 1 and blue-black-red for a 3/4 legendary ogre wizard. It reads, tap. The player whose turn it is may end the turn. For those of you who are unaware, this is a Sundial of the Infinite effect in the command zone. The key part of this effect is what happens when this ability resolves. The reminder text on the card shows why it's powerful. The reminder text reads, exile all spells and abilities from the stack. The players whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand size, damage wears off in this turn until end of turn effects end. So basically, this allows you to exile any spells or abilities on the stack if it's your turn. A combo for this card is Final Fortune imprinted onto Isochron Scepter. Activate Isochron, cast Final Fortune, take an extra turn. The lose the game triggered ability goes onto the stack at the end of that turn. When that happens, activate Obeca and exile that ability. This prevents you from losing the game. On your extra turn, you can activate Isochron again to take an extra turn and take infinite turns with this ability. There are many possibilities with this, but you can abuse this effect to a great degree. If anyone has in-step actions, they cannot take it on anyone else's turn for fear of you activating Obeca and that player electing to end their turn and effectively exiling that spell or ability. It can also be a good political tool as well in a pinch. If someone else is trying to win on another person's turn at instant speed, you can have them end their turn with this card and stop that win. While this won't come up that much, the ability to use that can definitely make a difference in some games. There are already brews going around of this commander, and we can't wait to see what comes of it. Number 6 on our list is Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. This card is 3 and a blue for a 3/1 legendary human rogue. It has partner and reads, you may have Sakashima of 1,000 Faces enter the battlefield as a copy of another creature you control, except it has Sakashima of 1,000 Faces other abilities. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. For anyone unaware, the legend rule is a rule in Magic that states, if a player controls 2 or more legendary permanents of the same name when state-based effects are checked, that player chooses one of those permanents and immediately puts the others into their owner's graveyards, without any player having an opportunity to respond. This does not destroy the other permanents, does not cause them to be sacrificed, and cannot be prevented by being indestructible or having regeneration. Basically, this allows you to make copies of legendary creatures and they will both stay on the battlefield. The fact that this card has partner is what opens it up to so many different options. So basically, this card allows you to have 2 instances of your partner on the battlefield at the same time. For instance, now instead of Vial Smasher dealing damage when spells are cast, it now deals that damage twice at random. Instead of drawing 2 to 3 cards off of Temna the Weaver, you can now draw 4 to 6 cards off of Temna. The ability to double commander effects is amazing, and we will see this card thrown together with a lot of partner commanders in the upcoming months. We are halfway through our list, and coming in at number 5 is the 5 enemy Battle Bond lands. They are Rejuvenating Springs, Spectator Seating, Training Center, Undergrowth Stadium, and Vault of Champions. They all tap for their respective enemy colors and enter untapped if you have 2 or more opponents. There really isn't a whole lot to say about these lands except that they're a great cycle that started in Battle Bond. The original Battle Bond lands see their fair share of play in the CEDH meta, and these will be instant staples in the format. Coming in at number 4 on our list is Wheel of Misfortune. This card is 2 and a red for a sorcery that reads, each player secretly chooses a number 0 or greater, then all players reveal those numbers simultaneously and determine the highest and lowest numbers revealed this way. Wheel of Misfortune deals damage equal to the highest number to each player who chose that number. Each player who didn't choose the lowest number discards their hand and then draws 7 cards. This is a very interesting card that provides a Wheel of Fortune effect to those who are willing to risk more. The most conservative of the group loses out on card advantage, so this card deals damage and allows you to potentially refill your hand. It's aggressively costed like the original Wheel of Fortune, and we'll see play in decks that want to disrupt and wheel everyone's hands. We are in the top 3, and number 3 on our list is Jeweled Lotus. This card costs 0 for an artifact that reads, tap, sacrifice Jeweled Lotus, add 3 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to cast your commander. Now some of you might be saying, wait a minute, this isn't your number 1? That's right, it's not. But that's not to say that this effect isn't amazingly powerful. Basically every single monocolored CEDH commander will run this card. The chance at a turn 1 commander while still being able to cast other spells or hold up interaction is amazing. Contrary to what some people are thinking, this card will not be an auto-include in every deck. This card will go great in decks with commanders at higher CMCs and 2 or fewer colors in their color identity. Now, that's not to say that this card won't be run in things like 4 and 5 color decks. It just has to be run in the right kinds of decks. Monocolor decks will run this card. 2 color decks will run this card. 3 and 4 color partner decks will run this card. 5 color decks will also run this card if the commander doesn't have a restrictive casting cost. Examples of 5 color decks running this card are things like Nigila, Golos, and Kenrith. This will not go well in decks with restrictive casting costs of commanders like Breya, Yidris, or the First Sliver. Either way, this card is an amazing addition to the CEDH card pool. Number 2 on our list is Hull Breacher. This card is 2 and a blue for a 3/2 Merfolk Pirate. It has Flash, meaning you can cast it at instant speed. It reads, if an opponent would draw a card except for the first one they draw on each of their draw steps, instead you create a treasure token. This card has a familiar ability we've seen in the past. Notion Thief, a CEDH staple, capitalizes on opponents' draws by stealing them for yourself. Hull Breacher will be doing the same thing, but instead it will be ramping you instead of drawing you cards. It shuts off card advantage of your opponents and gives you treasures to use. Its flash ability is really where this card is going to go crazy. Someone can cast a wheel effect, and you can flash this card out and completely empty your opponent's hands and get a massive amount of treasures to use. All this comes from this one card at an amazing casting cost. This card will see definite play in disruptive strategies and wheel strategies. It will find many homes alongside many decks already running Notion Thief. We are finally to our number 1, and number 1 on our list is Opposition Agent. This card is 2 and a black for a 3/2 human rogue. It also has flash and reads, you control your opponents while they're searching their libraries. While an opponent is searching their library, they exile each card they find. You may play those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast them. For comparison, the CEDH staple Aven Mind Sensor is played in many decks running white. The ability to shut off searching greatly hinders the consistency of CEDH decks. Opposition Agent does this one better. While an opponent tries to search your library, you can flash this in. Then not only do you stop your opponent from getting the card they want, but it also offers the potential to steal something valuable of theirs. If they're cracking a fetch land, you can ramp instead. Are they using Vampiric or Demonic Tutor? Then you can grab their win con out of their library and leave it in exile, locking them out of the game. You can also grab that win con for yourself if you'd like. Are you playing against multiple Thassa's Oracle decks? Flash an Opposition Agent, steal their Oracle, and cast it yourself on your own turn. This is all on top of the fact that this card is black. Aven Mind Sensor is run in just about every CEDH deck running white. Problem is, not that many decks have white in their identity. Black, however, makes up a huge portion of the CEDH color pie. Black is as prevalent at tables as blue in CEDH. This is why cards like Compost are almost never dead in your deck. Basically, every deck running black is going to want to run this card. There is no real downside to running this card because the upside potential of stealing your opponent's key cards is worth such an inclusion. This card is going to reshape how we play CEDH. You only ever had to play around 1 to 2 possible Aven Mind Sensor effects at a normal CEDH table. Now, an Opposition Agent can happen at any time due to the density of black in this format. Plus, people can cast Dark Ritual and then Opposition Agent to get you as early as turn 1 for your tutors. It will always be an imminent threat that Aven Mind Sensor never was, because Aven Mind Sensor didn't steal your win con from under you. This is a fantastic card that is going to be rampant in our format immediately. Well, there you have it, our picks for the top 10 CEDH cards from Commander Legends. This set is an amazing inclusion into the Commander format. We loved a lot of the new cards as well as all the valuable reprints we got in this set. We will be seeing a lot of changes to the Commander format, not just CEDH. We are very excited to see where this set takes the format in the future. This is definitely one of the better sets to be released in recent history, and a lot of the cards are going to be instant staples. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It lets us know we're giving you the content you love. If you would like to see more, consider subscribing to stay updated. If you would like to help us further and get some awesome perks in return, consider signing up to our Patreon. We have recently added new tiers, including a new limited tier that allows you to be on an episode of Playing with Power. Check out the link in the description. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Best of the Best. Tune in next time when we attempt to assemble the best list for the best format, CEDH. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.